Well, Blink 7, towards the end of its run, managed to deliver 2 pretty good episodes. They fit well within the overall aspect of the entirety of the story, because you can have opportunities for episodic flair that also fit in with the overall story of their rebellion against the Federation and so on and so forth. And this one, these 2 actually fit right in with that, along with strange alien things out in the universe. So the first one's called Sand, and Servaland is on a mission to this distant world. And, of course, Scorpio crew, Avon and the rest, find out that she's doing this, and they want to know what's going on. Well, she goes there looking to investigate a research crew that was lost on the planet several years before. And, well, what happened? They were investigating an element, substance, what have you, that has some interesting potential for energy, power, and most notably a preservative of sorts. They discover that as they go. But they go there, and there's no one left. There's tapes of whatever of this researcher explaining things going bad. And when they land, immediately they have all kind of technical problems. The ship's in trouble. She and her crew searching the base run into even more troubles, and then her guy turns on her and whatnot. Meanwhile, just as her fortune would have it, Scorpio crew shows up. Tarrant and Dana teleport down, and well, Dana gets into trouble, so Tarrant has her go back up. Then he pursues Servaland, ends up there, and she and Tarrant and Servaland are pretty much trapped together and have to work together in order to survive. Of course, well, they're young and attractive, so they make out and all this stuff. And ultimately, Tarrant catches Servaland in a vulnerable moment, which is rare for Servaland, because, she's ice cold and evil and all that. And she's still all of that. But it turns out the research scientist that was leading the team and who died on this planet, they find his body, and Tarrant says, good Lord, how can he's perfectly preserved. He looks like he just died. But he hadn't. He'd been dead for years. But that's part of the elements, the interesting elements of what this planet holds. Unfortunately, it's also what's killing them, and all this, the green sand, I guess, like green slime, is attacking everything because it's a live sentient entity. So, it doesn't want them there, wants them out, and all this sort of thing. So, of course, Servaland's all heartbroken because this research scientist was an old boyfriend of hers, and always wondered what happened to him. She finally found the time to go seek him out. So she, of course, wanted to see if he'd made any great discoveries that could aid the Federation in her own pursuits of power and all that. But at the same time, hey, whatever happened to this boyfriend she had, And I guess he really mattered. You kind of wonder, do any of them matter to her? And I guess this one in particular did. Of course, she's very angry when she sees the corpse that, oh, damn it, why did he have to pursue this and get himself killed? All that type of thing. But nevertheless, to assuage her mourning and grief, she and Tarrant hook up, Of course, they don't really depict this other than them making out, but, you get the idea. Meanwhile, Scorpio can't perform a rescue because, well, there's the intelligent life form is causing problems with the ship as well. But, of course, ultimately they overcome it, and Tarrant is saved, and they're left wondering, is that the end of Servaland? Of course, it's not, but, they had the moment where Tarrant's like, oh, no. Oh. And, the rest of the crew is like, hey, you got some Servaland, didn't you? And especially, Dana, because, it was always looks like they're insinuating there's something between Tarrant and Dana, but, oh, man. she's not going to be happy with that because she absolutely hates Servalan. I mean, any other woman but her, you know. I mean, well, let's see. She killed Dana's father. She ended up killing Dana's old boyfriend, her professor. Sure, there was an age gap, but, you know, there was a thing there. And then Servalan killed him. So, yeah, she's going to be mad at Terrence for him getting soft, or rather, or with Servalan. But, well, what are you going to do? They were stuck, surrounded by green alien sand. And, you know, it was a moment. These things happen. Now, once again, the only, I suppose, if you want to toss a flaw into this, between the two episodes, is that the next episode called Gold, and it's basically a heist episode, which is great, especially with, you know, even though it's in the outer space setting, but it's a lot of espionage and this sort of thing. They're a rebellion, the Federation is the governing power, so on and so forth. And a heist makes sense in that, hey, if you can rob the state that you're fighting against, all the better. And that sort of thing. Of course, the problem is it's another Servalan episode. So it's kind of like the Master was when Pertwee was the Doctor. You know, this is damn near every episode when they probably, at least every other, maybe, you know. But it was basically the Master was a part of the cast, you know. It wasn't just a recurring character at that point, but has been ever since, you know. But at the time, a little different. But here, Servalan, no different. Was pretty much a regular of the cast. So, you know, that's how that played out. So anyway, once again, some old buddy of Avon's, which immediately tells you he's no good, but he's running this cruise ship through space, and says, hey, I've got this plan where we can steal a ton of gold, and we'll all be rich and stuff. So he needs the help from the Scorpio crew because, well, you know, he just doesn't have a crew, really. And the ship, it's an odd thing where the ship is used as the transport for the gold. So any thieves don't suspect it, or any enemies and that sort of thing. At least that's the first little plan of camouflage and security for it. And any people that are actually on it for the cruise, well, they just dope them up. and they're unaware of what's going on. The other, even better, means by which they protect the gold is that it's molecularly altered to where it's just a bunch of black bricks that is utterly useless. If you don't have the process by which you can reverse it to turn it back into its gold form, it remains useless. Of course, Federation's got that figured out, so they got to go and have the proper code sequence in order to do this. So, all right, so they got the plan, and they can steal this crap and you know, have the money, ransom it, whatever you need to do, and off they go. And there's all kind of difficulties and fail-safes. At one point, they think Avon and Asuna is dead. But no, you misunderstood. And all this sort of stuff. It's all the elements of heist, different ways of which tricking the cameras and all this stuff. And ultimately, they get it. And they go to the planet to meet these buyers. And surprise, it's the Federation. Who's in charge? Surprise, it's Servalan. And she buys the gold. Now, of course, as it stands, Servalan is still pretty much on the run herself. She's been undergoing existing under an alias, but there's a split within the Federation and that sort of thing. So, hey, she really needs the gold to get the upper hand, and so she pays them in these Federation credit bills. And so they got a pile of money when they, and of course, Avon's friend was, of course, a backstabbing a-hole, so they leave him behind, and, well, he gets killed. And they're back on Scorpio, and guess what? When they realize what Servalan will do is drop the currency to make a new one. Of course, she has the absolute gold, so all that money that they have is absolutely useless. which Avon just, what can he do? He just breaks out laughing at the whole absurdity of it. So, but the overall romp is fun. And it's a great, these were a couple of cool, solid, pretty standard episodes for adventure stories, and fit in. And granted, Servalan only made a brief appearance here at the end. Not quite like it was in the previous one. But overall, these were two good, solid episodes of Blake 7. And was really hitting its stride and everything, and if only it could go on, but oh boy, there's only 3 episodes left. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's how it went. So anyway, there you go. And if you know the entirety of Blake 7 and how it ends, something like this episode and Avon's reaction, it's like, hey, what are we doing? But what were they gonna do? Where are they gonna go and all that? So anyway, I had a lot of fun with these 2 particular episodes. So gold or sand and gold. If it had been gold and sand, you would think gold and sand? No. Actually, the sand was green on this. It's an alien planet. So sand and gold for Blake 7.